It was a chilly evening in Willow Creek, a tiny town where everyone knew everyone. The air smelled like fallen leaves and warm pie. On Main Street, the little diner glowed with yellow light. Inside, it was busy, really busy. Plates clinked together like tiny bells. Coffee steamed in big white mugs. People laughed and talked loud enough to fill the room with noise. It was the kind of place where you felt cozy, like sitting by a fire. And right in the middle of it all was Mia Carter. Mia was a waitress. She had a big, bright smile that made people feel happy. But her eyes, they looked tired, like she hadn't slept in a while. Her dark hair was tied back in a messy bun and little strands stuck out like they were trying to escape. She wore a faded apron with ketchup stains on it, and her sneakers squeaked on the floor because they were so old. To everyone in town, she was just Mia, the girl who pours your coffee. That's what they called her. They'd say, "Hey Mia, more coffee." "Sorry Mia, my eggs are cold." She'd nod and smile, and that was that. Nobody thought she was special. Nobody wondered about her. But here's the thing, they didn't know the real Mia. Not yet. Mia zipped around the diner like a superhero. She carried trays full of food, pancakes with syrup, burgers with fries, bowls of soup that wobbled but never spilled. She dodged elbows from people reaching for napkins. She slid past chairs that stuck out too far. Her hands were fast and her feet were faster. She was good at her job, maybe too good. Most waitresses dropped stuff sometimes, a fork here, a glass there. Not Mia, she never messed up. It was like she had secret powers nobody noticed. Her apron wasn't fancy. It was plain and kind of dirty, with red and brown stains from ketchup and gravy. Her sneakers were gray once, but now they were more like a muddy color, with holes near the toes. She didn't care. She kept moving, kept smiling. But if you looked close, really close, you'd see something different about her. Her eyes sparkled, not like glitter or stars, but like she knew something important. They were brown and deep, and they watched everything. She didn't just look at people. She watched them like she was reading a book no one else could see. The way Mr. Jenkins tapped his spoon when he was mad. The way old Mrs. Harper hid a smile when she talked about her grandkids. Mia saw it all, and she remembered. The diner was full of regular people that night. There was Tommy, the truck driver with a big beard. He always ordered bacon and eggs, even at dinner time. There was Sally, the librarian with glasses that slid down her nose. She liked tea with 2 sugars and a side of toast. And then there was little Joey, who came with his mom and always dropped crumbs everywhere. They all knew Mia. They'd wave and say, "Hi Mia." She'd wave back and bring their food. But they didn't really know her. To them, she was just the waitress, just the girl who poured coffee and cleaned tables. They didn't ask where she came from or why she was there. They didn't care. Outside, the wind blew hard. It rattled the diner's windows and made the sign creak. Inside, it was warm and loud. The smell of fries and apple pie mixed together in the air. People chewed and chatted. Someone laughed so hard they snorted. Mia moved through it all, quiet but quick. She filled coffee cups before they were empty. She brought extra napkins without being asked. She picked up a crayon Joey dropped and handed it back with a grin. Everyone liked her. But nobody thought she was anything more than what they saw. Let me tell you something, though. Mia wasn't ordinary. She wasn't just a waitress with a tray and a smile. There was something about her nobody knew, a secret, a big one, bigger than forgetting to tip her $1, bigger than spilling a milkshake on the floor. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. That would ruin the fun, but I'll give you a hint. It's something that would make your eyes go wide and your mouth drop open. Stick with me and you'll find out soon. Picture this: Mia standing by the counter, wiping it with a rag. Her hands move fast, back and forth, making the counter shine. A man in a red hat sits nearby, slurping soup. He doesn't look up. He doesn't say thanks. Mia doesn't mind. She keeps wiping. Across the room, two ladies whisper to each other. They giggle and point at a phone showing pictures of a cat. Mia hears them but doesn't stop. She's always listening, always watching. Why? That's part of the secret. The diner had big windows that looked out onto Main Street. You could see the dark sky and a few stars if you squinted. Sometimes Mia would glance outside just for a second. Her eyes would narrow like she was looking for something or someone. Then she'd turn back to work like nothing happened. Nobody noticed. They were too busy eating pie or talking about the weather, but I noticed. And now you're noticing too. Let's talk about Willow Creek for a minute. It wasn't a big place. Just one main road with a few shops, a gas station, and the diner. Houses sat close together with porches and rocking chairs. Dogs barked sometimes, and kids rode bikes until the streetlights came on. Everyone knew each other's business, or so they thought. They'd say, "Oh, that's just old Mr. Jenkins, he's grumpy," or "Sally, reading another book again." They thought they knew Mia too. "She's the waitress," they'd say. "She's nice, she's quiet." That's all they saw, but they were wrong. Mia didn't talk much about herself. If someone asked, "Where you from, Mia?" she'd smile and say, "Oh, around." If they asked, "Got family nearby?" she'd shrug and say, "Not really." People didn't push. They figured she was shy or didn't have much to tell. They didn't know she was hiding something big, something that made her different from every single person in that diner. Here's a little moment from that night. Tommy, the truck driver, waved his empty mug. "Mia, coffee," he yelled like she was far away. She was right there, 3 steps from him. She walked over, pot in hand, and poured. The coffee steamed as it hit the mug. "Thanks, kid," Tommy said, not even looking at her. Mia nodded. "You're welcome," she said softly. Her voice was calm, but her eyes, they flicked to Tommy's jacket pocket. A little piece of paper stuck out. She saw it. She didn't say anything. She just turned and walked away. What was on that paper? Why did she care? That's another clue for you. The clock on the diner wall ticked loud. It was old, with a cracked face, but it worked. Tick, tick, tick. 8 o'clock was coming soon. The night was young and the diner was full. Mia kept moving, tray to table, table to counter, counter to kitchen. Her sneakers squeaked. Her apron flapped. She smiled at Joey's mom when she brought extra ketchup. She laughed when Sally spilled tea and said, "Oops." Everything seemed normal, just another night in Willow Creek, but it was. So what do you think Mia's hiding? I asked you that already, didn't I? Well, let's make it fun. Imagine you're in the diner right now. You're sitting at a table, eating fries, watching Mia. What do you see? A girl with a tray, a tired waitress, or something more? Maybe you're starting to wonder. Maybe you're thinking, "She's too good at this. She's too quiet. What's her deal?" Good, keep wondering, because this story is just getting started. Mia wasn't like the other waitresses who'd worked at the diner before. Some of them were loud, yelling across the room. Some were clumsy, dropping spoons or forgetting orders. Mia was different. She was smooth, like water flowing over rocks. She never got mad when people were rude. She never complained when the kitchen messed up. She just kept going. And those eyes, those sparkling, watching eyes, never stopped moving. Outside, the wind picked up. A leaf smacked against the window and stuck there. Inside, the chatter got louder. Someone turned on the jukebox and an old song played. People tapped their feet. Mia didn't. She stayed focused. She carried a plate of pie to Mrs. Harper, who said, "You're a sweet girl, Mia." Mia smiled. "Thanks," she said, but her mind was somewhere else. "Where, you'll see." This was Mia's world that night, a busy diner, a small town, a regular crowd. But underneath it all, something was brewing, something big, something nobody expected. Not Tommy, not Sally, not little Joey, not even you yet. So stick with me, friends, Mia's secret is coming, and when it hits, you won't believe it. In the little town of Willow Creek, not everyone was nice to Mia Carter. Sure, some people smiled when she brought their coffee, but others, they weren't so kind. And the meanest of them all was Vanessa Reed. Vanessa owned the diner on Main Street. She walked around like she owned the whole town. Her red nails were sharp like little claws. Her voice was even sharper, cutting through the air like a knife. When she talked, people listened, or else. Vanessa never missed a chance to make Mia feel small. One busy night, the diner was packed, plates clinked, and the air smelled like burgers and pie. Mia was wiping down the counter, making it shine like a mirror. She scrubbed hard, her hands moving fast. Vanessa stormed over, her high heels clicking loud on the floor. She stopped right in front of Mia and pointed at the counter. "Mia, you call this clean?" she snapped. Her eyes were narrow and her lips curled like she'd tasted something sour. The counter was spotless, not a crumb or a smudge anywhere. But Vanessa didn't care. She wanted to yell. Mia froze for a second. Her hand held the rag tight. She looked at the counter, then at Vanessa. "It's clean, ma'am," she said softly. Her voice was calm, but her jaw was tight, like she was holding something back. Vanessa leaned closer, her red nails tapping the counter. "Do your job right, Mia," she hissed, "or you're out of here." "Got it," Mia nodded. "Yes, ma'am," she said, so quiet you could barely hear her, but her eyes, they flickered with something strong, something fierce, like a fire nobody could see. Vanessa didn't notice. She just turned and walked away, her heels clicking again. The people in the diner saw it happen. Some of them smirked like it was funny. Old Mr. Jenkins, who always ate scrambled eggs, shook his head and muttered, "That girl's no good." Sally, the librarian, looked down at her tea and said nothing. A couple of teenagers in the corner giggled and whispered to each other. To them, Mia was just a waitress, nobody special. They figured she'd mess up one day and leave town like other waitresses before her. They didn't know Mia at all, not one bit. But here's the truth, Mia wasn't going anywhere, not yet. She wasn't the kind of person to run away when things got tough. Every time Vanessa yelled at her, Mia's heart beat a little harder. Every time a customer left a penny tip or no tip at all, she stood a little taller. She wasn't just taking it, she was waiting for the right moment. What moment? I can't tell you yet, that's part of the fun. But I'll say this, Mia was stronger than anyone thought. Vanessa wasn't the only one who was mean. Some customers were rude too. Like Tommy, the truck driver with the big beard. One night, he waved his empty plate in the air. "Mia, this burger was cold," he shouted, even though he'd eaten every bite. Mia walked over, her sneakers squeaking. "I'm sorry, Tommy," she said politely. "Want me to get you a new one?" Tommy just grunted. "Forget it," he said, tossing a crumpled dollar on the table. That was his tip, $1. Mia picked it up, smiled, and walked away. Her smile was kind, but her eyes were sharp, like she was thinking hard. Then there was Mrs. Harper, who came in every Tuesday for pie. She seemed sweet, always calling Mia dear. But sometimes, when Mia was busy, Mrs. Harper would snap her fingers. "Hurry up, dear," she'd say, like Mia wasn't moving fast enough. Mia never got mad. She'd just nod and bring the pie quicker. But she noticed everything. The way Mrs. Harper's voice got sharp. The way Tommy's dollar landed on the table. The way Vanessa's nails tapped when she was angry. Mia saw it all and she didn't forget. The diner wasn't always a happy place for Mia. Vanessa made sure of that. She'd give Mia the hardest jobs, like cleaning the greasy stove or scrubbing the floor after closing. "You're slow today, Mia," Vanessa would say, even when Mia was working faster than anyone else. One time, Vanessa made Mia carry heavy boxes of supplies from the back room to the kitchen all by herself. The boxes were so big they blocked Mia's view. She almost tripped, but she didn't. She carried everyone, her arms shaking but her face calm. Vanessa watched from the doorway, arms crossed. "Better not drop those," she said with a smirk. Mia didn't answer, she just kept going. Why was Vanessa so mean? Maybe she didn't like how good Mia was at her job. Maybe she didn't like Mia's quiet strength. Or maybe Vanessa just liked being in charge and making people feel small. Whatever the reason, she picked on Mia every chance she got. And the other workers, they didn't help. There was Jenny, the cook, who stayed quiet and flipped burgers. There was Tim, who washed dishes and never looked up. They saw Vanessa yell, but they didn't say a word. They figured Mia could handle it. Or maybe they didn't care. But Mia could handle it. She didn't cry or complain. She didn't yell back even when Vanessa's words stung like a bee. Instead, she got stronger. Every mean word, every unfair job, every penny tip, it all made her more determined. She wasn't just surviving, she was planning. Planning what? That's the secret, and it's a big one. I'll give you a hint. Mia wasn't just a waitress with a tray. She was something else, something nobody in Willow Creek expected. The air in the diner felt heavy sometimes, like a storm was coming. People laughed and ate, but there was tension too. You could feel it when Vanessa walked by, her eyes searching for something to criticize. You could see it in Mia's tight jaw, her quick glances around the room. Something was building, something important. Mia wasn't going to let Vanessa win. She wasn't going to let the rude customers push her down. She had a purpose, and she was ready to fight for it. So here's a question for you. Have you ever been treated unfairly? Maybe someone was mean to you for no reason. Maybe they made you feel small, like you didn't matter. How did you handle it? Did you stay quiet like Mia, or did you speak up? Think about it and maybe share your story with me later. But don't go anywhere. This tale is about to get even more exciting. Weeks went by in Willow Creek, and things got harder for Mia Carter. Vanessa Reed, the diner's boss, wasn't just mean anymore, she was worse. Her attitude grew sharp, like a pencil poked into your hand. She didn't yell all the time, but when she did, it stung. She made Mia work late, long after the moon came up. The diner would be empty, the lights dim, and Mia would still be there, wiping tables or sweeping crumbs. Vanessa didn't care. She'd stand by the door, arms crossed, and say, "Hurry up, Mia, you're too slow." Vanessa gave Mia the toughest jobs. She'd say, "Scrub the floors, Mia, they're dirty." The floors weren't dirty, Mia had cleaned them that morning, but Mia grabbed a mop anyway. She'd push it back and forth, water splashing on her sneakers. Vanessa would watch, her red nails tapping, and smirk. "You're lucky to have this job," she'd say, tossing her hair like she was a queen. "Nobody else would hire you." Those words were mean, and they were supposed to make Mia feel small, but Mia didn't flinch. She kept mopping, her face calm, her hands steady. The customers didn't make it easier. Some were loud and wild, like a pack of dogs. Vanessa would point at them and tell Mia, "Handle it." So Mia did. She'd carry trays to tables where men shouted and laughed too loud. One guy spilled his soda on purpose just to see it drip on the floor. "Oops," he said, grinning. Mia didn't say a word. She grabbed a rag, cleaned it up, and brought him a new drink. The whole time, her eyes stayed sharp, watching him. She didn't get mad. She didn't complain. She just worked. Mia never argued with Vanessa. She didn't talk back when customers were rude. She just kept going, like a quiet river that never stops flowing. But here's the thing, she wasn't just working, she was watching, always watching. Sometimes she'd linger near a table, pretending to wipe it down. Her rag moved slow, but her ears were wide open. The regular people, folks like Tommy the truck driver or Sally the librarian, talked loud. They didn't think Mia cared. They were wrong. One night, Tommy sat with a guy in a fancy suit. Mia heard them talking about the mayor. "He's building something big," Tommy said, chewing his bacon. "Lots of money." The suit guy nodded. "Bank's in on it too." Mia kept wiping her head down, but she listened. Another time, Sally whispered to Mrs. Harper about Vanessa. "She's got secrets," Sally said. "Shady stuff with cash." Mrs. Harper giggled. "Oh, Vanessa's always sneaky." Mia didn't look up. She didn't say a peep. But she remembered every word, like she was saving it in her brain for later. Why did Mia care? What was she doing with all those little bits of talk? I'll give you a hint, it's tied to her secret. She wasn't just a waitress who poured coffee. She was something more, something big, but nobody knew. Not Vanessa, not Tommy, not even little Joey who dropped crayons. Mia kept it hidden, and she was good at hiding. Then one cold night, something strange happened. The diner was quiet, not too busy. The wind howled outside, rattling the windows. Mia was pouring coffee when the door creaked open. A man walked in. He was tall, taller than Tommy, with broad shoulders and a black leather jacket that shone under the lights. His hair was messy, and a scar ran above his eyebrow like a little line drawn with a marker. He didn't smile. He didn't talk to anyone. He just sat in the corner, far from the other tables, and stared. Mia walked over, her tray under her arm. "What can I get you?" she asked, her voice soft but clear. The stranger looked up. His eyes were dark, and they locked on her like he was trying to see inside her head. "Black coffee," he said. His voice was low, almost a growl. Mia nodded and went to get it. When she came back, he was still staring. She set the cup down, the coffee steaming. He leaned forward, so close she could smell the leather on his jacket. "You're not what you seem, are you?" he whispered. Mia froze. Her heart started beating fast, like a drum in her chest. She didn't know this man. Why was he saying that? Did he know something? Her mind raced, but her face stayed still. She forced a little smile. "Just doing my job," she said, calm as ever. Her voice didn't shake, even though her insides did. The stranger chuckled, a quiet laugh that made her skin prickle. He leaned back, sipped his coffee, and said nothing else. Mia turned away, her sneakers squeaking as she walked to the counter. She didn't look back, but she felt his eyes on her. When the stranger finished, he stood up. He tossed a few dollars on the table and headed for the door. Mia watched from the corner of her eye. As he left, she walked over to clear his cup. That's when she saw it, a tiny piece of paper tucked under the saucer. She picked it up, her fingers careful. The note was small, folded once. She opened it and read, "Be careful, they're watching." The words were scratched in messy handwriting, like he wrote it fast. Mia's breath stopped for a second. Who was they? Why did she need to be careful? She looked around the diner. Tommy was eating. Sally was reading. Vanessa was yelling at Tim in the kitchen. Everything seemed normal, but that note, it made her stomach twist. She slipped it into her apron pocket, quick so no one saw. Then she grabbed a rag and started wiping tables like nothing happened. Her face was blank, but her mind was spinning. Here's a secret for you. That note wasn't the first warning Mia had gotten. There'd been others, little signs, quiet whispers, a phone call one night that cut off fast, a strange look from a man at the gas station. Mia didn't tell anyone, she didn't panic, she just kept going like always. Why was she so calm? What did she know that we did? That's the fun part, you'll find out soon. The diner hummed along that night, but something felt different. Mia moved slower, her eyes darting to the windows. Was someone out there? Was the stranger right? She didn't know yet, but she wasn't scared. She was ready. Ready for what? Stick around, friends, because this story's getting wild. The next night was a big one in Willow Creek. It was the annual town dinner, and the diner was stuffed with people. Every table was full. Chairs squeaked as folks scooted closer together. The air smelled like roast chicken and warm rolls. Plates clinked, glasses jingled, and voices buzzed loud. Everyone wore their best clothes, dresses, ties, shiny shoes. It was a party, and the whole town was there. Vanessa Reed loved it. She was the boss of the diner, and tonight she acted like the boss of everything. She wore a sparkly red dress that swished when she moved. Her nails were painted bright and her hair bounced as she walked around. She laughed loud, too loud, at the mayor's silly jokes. "Oh, Mayor Tom, you're so funny," she'd say, slapping his arm. Then she'd turn to the bank owner, Mr. Grayson, and smile big. "More wine, Grayson?" she asked, pouring it before he answered. Vanessa was in her element, showing off, making everyone notice her. Mia Carter was there too, but she wasn't showing off. She was everywhere, busy, quiet, fast. Her apron was tied tight, her sneakers squeaked on the floor. She carried trays of drinks, lemonade, water, coffee, refilling cups before they went empty. She cleared plates stacked with chicken bones and mashed potato smears. She dodged Vanessa's mean glares, moving quick so she wouldn't get yelled at. Mia moved faster. Vanessa snapped once, her voice sharp. Mia just nodded and kept going. She didn't stop, didn't talk back. She worked hard like always. The diner clock ticked loud over the noise. Its hands moved slow but steady. 7:30, 7:45, then ding, it hit 8. Right at that moment, the diner's door swung open with a bang. Everyone jumped a little. Heads turned. Forks stopped halfway to mouths. The room got quiet, like someone flipped a switch. A woman walked in. She wasn't from Willow Creek. She wore a sharp blazer, dark blue, and pants that didn't wrinkle. Her heels clicked on the floor, click, 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 like a countdown to something big. Behind her were two men in black suits. Their faces were serious, like stone. No smiles, no waves, just silence. Vanessa frowned. She didn't like strangers crashing her party. She stepped forward, her hands on her hips. "We're full," she said, waving a hand like she was shooing a fly. "No room tonight, come back tomorrow." Her voice was bossy, like always. She turned back to the mayor, ready to laugh again. The woman in the blazer didn't move, she didn't blink. "I'm not here for dinner," she said. Her words were clear, cutting through the quiet. She looked past Vanessa, straight at Mia. I'm here for Mia Carter. Her voice wasn't loud, but it filled the room. Every head turned, forks dropped, eyes went wide. Mia was by the counter, holding a tray of dirty glasses. She froze for a second, then set the tray down slow. The glasses clinked softly. She wiped her hands on her apron once, twice, making sure they were clean. Then she stepped forward, her sneakers quiet now. Everyone stared. Tommy, the truck driver, stopped chewing. Sally, the librarian, pushed her glasses up. Little Joey's mom pulled him close. What was happening? Vanessa laughed. It wasn't a happy laugh. It sounded shaky, nervous. Mia, she said, her eyebrows high. What's this about? She's just a waitress. She pointed at Mia like it was a joke. She pours coffee, she scrubs floors, that's all. Her voice got louder, but it wobbled. She didn't like this, not one bit. The woman in the blazer tilted her head. She raised one eyebrow just a little. Just a waitress, she said. I don't think so. She turned to Mia, her face calm but firm. Agent Carter, would you like to explain? Agent Carter, that's right, Agent Carter. The diner exploded with whispers. What? Who? Agent? People leaned forward, mouths open. Vanessa's jaw dropped so low it almost hit the floor. Her red nails dug into her dress. Mia didn't blink. She reached into her apron pocket, slow, steady. She pulled out something small and shiny, a badge. She held it up high so everyone could see. It glinted under the diner lights. FBI, she said. Her voice was calm, like she was ordering a sandwich. Vanessa Reed, you're under arrest for money laundering and fraud. Room gasped. A big loud gasp, like air rushing out of a balloon. Money laundering, fraud, what did that mean? It meant Vanessa was doing bad things, sneaky things with money, and Mia knew all about it. The two men in suits moved fast. They stepped forward, their shoes thumping. One grabbed Vanessa's arm. The other pulled out handcuffs, silver clicking loud. Hey, Vanessa shouted. What are you doing? This is crazy. She tried to pull away, but they were stronger. Click, click, the cuffs locked around her wrists. Her face went red, then white. She looked at Mia, eyes wild. Mia, tell them it's a mistake. Mia didn't move, she didn't flinch. No mistake, she said, quiet but sure. You've been caught, Vanessa. The crowd gasped again. Tommy coughed on his chicken. Sally dropped her napkin. Joey's mom whispered, wow. Mia stood tall, her badge still in her hand. She wasn't just a waitress. She was an FBI agent, undercover, secret, smart. For months, she'd been watching Vanessa. Every mean word, every late night, every penny tip, it was all part of her plan. She listened to the mayor talk, watched the bank owner smile, heard Vanessa's shady secrets. She'd collected proof, piece by piece, until she had enough. The men in suits pulled Vanessa toward the door. Her heels dragged, scraping the floor. Let me go, she yelled. You can't do this. But they could, they did. The woman in the blazer nodded at Mia. Good work, Agent Carter, she said. Mia gave a tiny smile, not big, just enough. The diner buzzed with noise now, whispers, gasps, chairs creaking as people stood to see. Vanessa was gone, out the door into the night. And Mia, she was the hero nobody saw coming. So did you see that coming? Did you think Mia was just a waitress pouring coffee and scrubbing floors? I bet some of you did. Drop your guesses down below. Tell me what you thought Mia was hiding. This story's big twist is here, and it's awesome, right? The diner was still buzzing after Mia's big reveal. Vanessa Reed, the boss who acted so tough, wasn't in charge anymore. The two men in suits held her arms tight. Her shiny handcuffs clicked as they pulled her toward the door. She didn't go quietly. "This is a mistake," she shouted, her voice loud and shaky. Her red dress swished as she twisted, trying to pull free. "Mia, tell them it's not true." Her eyes were wide, her face red, like she couldn't believe what was happening. Mia stood by the counter, her FBI badge still in her hand. She didn't yell back, she didn't even move. She just shook her head, slow and calm. "You made your choices, Vanessa," she said. Her voice was quiet but strong, like a teacher who knows they're right. "Now you face the consequences." That shut Vanessa up for a second. She stared at Mia, her mouth open, but no words came out. The men tugged her again, and out she went. Her heels scraped the floor, then clicked on the steps outside. The door swung shut behind her, bam, and she was gone. Inside, the diner exploded with noise. People couldn't stop talking. Chairs squeaked as folks turned to look at each other. Plates sat forgotten, food growing cold. The air buzzed with shock like bees in a hive. "Mia's an agent," someone whispered. "FBI," said another. "Vanessa's going to jail," a third voice asked. Everyone was stunned. They couldn't believe it. The girl they thought was just a waitress had turned their world upside down. The regulars, people who'd seen Mia every day, suddenly wanted to talk to her. Tommy, the truck driver with the big beard, stood up fast. His chair tipped over with a crash. "Mia," he called, waving his hands. "You're amazing, I didn't know." His face was red, like he was embarrassed for being rude before. Sally, the librarian, pushed her glasses up and smiled big. "Wow, Mia, you're so smart," she said, clapping her hands. Even little Joey, the kid who dropped crayons, tugged his mom's sleeve. "Mom, she's a hero," he said, pointing at Mia. His mom nodded, her eyes wide. The mayor was there too, still holding his glass of wine. He didn't look so happy now. His laugh was gone. He walked over to Mia, his shoes squeaking on the floor. Mia," he said, his voice all shaky. "I'm sorry if I was rude, I didn't mean it." He rubbed his hands together like he was nervous. He stammered more apology. "Really, I did know." But Mia just looked at him. Her face didn't change. She didn't say much, just nodded once. The mayor backed away, his tie crooked now. Then there was Mr. Grayson, the bank owner. He sat at his table, quiet, staring at his plate. His fancy suit didn't make him look so big anymore. He peeked at Mia, then looked away fast. His hands fiddled with a napkin, twisting it tight. He was nervous, really nervous. Why, maybe he knew Vanessa's shady deals weren't just her idea. Maybe he helped her. Maybe Mia knew that too. His eyes darted to the door like he wanted to run. But he stayed put, sweating a little. The diner wasn't the same anymore. The party was over. People whispered and pointed. Some laughed, some shook their heads. Vanessa was gone, and Mia was the one they all saw now. Jenny, the cook, came out from the kitchen, her apron messy with flour. "Mia, you okay?" she asked, her voice soft. Mia smiled, a real smile, not a fake one. "I'm fine, Jenny," she said. She untied her apron, the one with ketchup stains and holes. She folded it neat and handed it to Jenny. "You keep this," she said. Jenny took it, her mouth open like she didn't know what to say. The crowd watched Mia. They were stunned, but some smiled now. "Good job, Mia," Tommy yelled, clapping loud. Sally nodded. "You're the best," she called. Joey's mom hugged her son and said, "She's so brave." Mia stood in the middle of it all, her sneakers planted firm. She didn't cheer or dance. She didn't need to. She'd done her job, and everyone knew it. Mia didn't stay long. Her work in Willow Creek was finished. She'd been undercover for months, watching, listening, waiting. Every mean word from Vanessa, every late-night scrubbing floors, every penny tip from rude customers, it was all part of her plan. The FBI had their evidence now. Vanessa was caught, her sneaky money games over. She was headed to jail and she wouldn't boss anyone around anymore. The town would never be the same, and that was okay. Mia looked around one last time. The diner lights were warm, the windows dark outside. The clock ticked past 8. She saw Tommy waving, Sally smiling, Joey bouncing in his seat. She saw the mayor fidgeting, Mr. Grayson hiding his face. She took it all in, then turned to the door. Her sneakers didn't squeak now, they were quiet, sure. She pushed the door open and a cold breeze rushed in. She stepped outside into the night and let the door swing shut behind her. The crowd stayed quiet for a second, then started talking again. "Where she going?" Joey asked. "Home, I bet," his mom said. "Or somewhere new," Sally added. They didn't know for sure, but they knew Mia was special. She wasn't just the girl who poured coffee. She was an agent, a hero, someone who made things right. Vanessa's yells faded down the street as the men took her away. The diner settled down, but it felt different, better, cleaner, like a storm had passed. Outside, Mia walked into the dark. The stars were out, twinkling high. Her breath puffed in the cold air. She didn't look back. Her job was done and she was free. Vanessa faced justice and Willow Creek learned a lesson: don't judge people too fast. Mia had one and everyone knew it now. Mia Carter wasn't just a waitress. She wasn't just the girl who poured coffee or scrubbed floors. She was so much more. She was a hero, a real one, hiding right there in front of everyone. Nobody saw it coming, not Vanessa, not the mayor, not even Tommy with his big beard. Mia didn't look like a hero. She didn't wear a cape or carry a sword. She wore a stained apron and old sneakers. But that's the thing about strength, it doesn't always shout. It doesn't jump up and say, "Look at me." Sometimes it's quiet, it watches, it waits. And then when the time is right, it wins. Think about Mia for a minute. She worked hard every day. She took Vanessa's mean words and kept going. She smiled at rude customers even when they left penny tips. She listened to secrets and remembered them. She didn't fight back with yells or fists. She fought with her brain, her eyes, her patience. That's real power. That's what made her strong. She proved you don't need to be loud or big to change things. You just need to be smart and brave. So here's something to think about. The next time you meet someone who seems ordinary, look a little closer. Maybe it's the kid in your class who's quiet but always helps others. Maybe it's the lady at the store who smiles even when she's busy. Maybe it's your neighbor who mows the lawn and never brags. You never know what they're hiding. They could have secrets, good secrets like Mia did. They could have power you can't see yet. People aren't always what they look like on the outside. Have you ever met someone like that? Someone who surprised you? Maybe you thought they were boring or weak, but then, bam, they did something amazing. Like a friend who seemed shy but won a race, or a teacher who looked strict but told the funniest stories, or even a little brother who fixed your bike when you couldn't. Those surprises stick with you. They make you wonder who else is hiding something special. Mia's story shows us something big. It's not about how loud you are or how fancy you look. It's about what you do when nobody's watching. It's about staying strong when things get tough. Vanessa thought she was the boss with her sharp nails and loud voice, but Mia was the real winner. She didn't need to yell or show off. She just did her job, her secret job, and made everything right. That's a lesson for all of us. You don't have to be the loudest in the room to be the strongest. Imagine if Mia gave up. What if she got tired of Vanessa's mean words and left? What if she stopped listening to the mayor and the bank owner? Vanessa would still be sneaky, hurting people with her shady deals, but Mia didn't quit. She kept going even when it was hard. That's what heroes do. They don't run away. They stay and fight in their own way. You can do that too. Maybe not with a badge like Mia, but with your own kind of strength. So what about you? What's the biggest surprise you've ever had about someone? Maybe it was a friend, a family member, or even a stranger. Did they do something cool you didn't expect? Did they turn out to be braver or smarter than you thought? Share it with me, I want to know. And if Mia's story got you hooked, if it made you cheer or gasp, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button too, because there's more fun stuff coming your way. Mia walked out of that diner into the night, and she left us with something big to remember. You don't need to be loud to be strong. You don't need to look special to be special. Just keep going, keep watching, keep being you. One day you might surprise everyone just like Mia did.